Thank you so much for staying. If you just joined us, this is TMI. I want to take a look at what transpired yesterday at the Edo State Assembly that led to the suspension of the three lawmakers. Be suspended. Some say it's indefinite. While you get to hear them shout and scream, you see the clip as you talking about this particular issue. Give them, Mr. Speaker, you don't have the right. And when I saw that, I made some calls. I'm going to read the calls to you in course of this discussion. With me here in the city to talk about this, I have a lecturer from Uniben, statistics, right? Mathematics, yes, thank you. Mathematics, but he's a vibrant political analyst. When he started analyzing, you get to know that he loves politics to the core. Join me to welcome Dr. Olowu Owens. Welcome to TMI. I appreciate the comment.
Thank you. Good morning, viewers at home.
And of course, Bishop Olumense Bright is also in the studio, political analyst, a clergyman. When he starts analyzing issues, be like, were you there? Say, yes, politically speaking, is well granted. Both of them, both local and international, they are both granted. Bishop, welcome to TMI Tuesday's edition. I appreciate the comment, Bishop. All right. All right. What happened yesterday in the Edo State Assembly when the news broke and videos, shots, clips of it emerged, both on the social media and, of course, the print media, and the factors that led to it? The whole nation was like, watching the cinema, was like, what is happening in Edo State? What is really going on? When it is feeling to the atmosphere, I want to start off with you, Dr. Owen. What was your immediate reaction? What went through your mind when you saw that news?
I don't know if what I read, what I read online, because it was a flashing news.
Yeah.
So many of the online, news media carried it. And what I read was that they were suspended for impeachment plot. I think against the speaker also, or principal officers of the State House of Assembly. Impeachment plot. And then there was one part I also read that said one of them was suspended because there's a CCTV footage of him performing some sacrifices. I don't know if those things are true anyway, because that's what I read online. So that they were impeached on that stand. 3 persons, impeachment plot. And then there's one who was said to be carrying out some fetish sacrifices that I was seen on video doing that. So I was taken aback, like, that those sacrifices the person was performing was actually a plot to remove the speaker and all that. I really don't want to believe that those assertions that I read on that news media is really true, because it will be one of the so in quote, one of the dumbest excuse ever to impeach anybody.
To suspend?
Suspend indefinitely anybody that the person was performing sacrifices, and you believe that those are attempts to impeach the applause. To me, it's an excuse that God. I don't think we have ever since 1999 seen it on this space that somebody is suspended because he was seen to be performing sacrifices in the House of Assembly, a compound or premises, as the case may be, and you now suspect that is an impeachment move, sacrifice. What about if that sacrifice was actually to ensure peace in the State House of Assembly? Because you cannot really judge a man's motive from his action. Do you get what I'm saying? Because many persons, if that is the true, like I said, I read it online, if that is the true, because this morning we've not really had time to look at the national dailies to see what they are saying concerning this issue, because it happened yesterday. Hopefully many of the national dailies will carry the news today. So if that is really the excuse, you impeach somebody because you said there's a footage, CCTV footage of him performing sacrifices in the premises of the National Assembly, that's the dumbest excuse ever. I don't think since 1999 we've ever had anybody suspended for such reasons. And again, you are suspending 3 persons for planning an impeachment on who, let's say the speaker or principal officers of the State House of Assembly, in a house where you have 24 persons. If 3 persons are planning, to me, how will that, you need to third majority to impeach anybody to impeach any officer of the State House of Assembly. So 3 persons are planning and you impeach. Me, I just think this is just an excuse, you know, to carry out a plot. I'm still trying to find out these 3 persons that were impeached yesterday. I want to believe these 3 persons, I hope they are not the same 3 persons who did not support the impeachment move.
We'll come to that. We'll come to that. You just hold on, we'll come to that. Well, Bishop, for what he said, one of the reasons given according to him is dumb. That is not enough for you to suspend, you know, a House member. From what the Speaker said, he said they started planning to impeach him, and of course the principal officers of the House. He talked about external influence, monitoring or pushing them or piloting them to distort proceedings in the House. That was the second reason. Because the third reason, which he rightly said he saw someone, you know, concocting some fetish things, sacrifice, maybe in the premises or the offices and all that. Now, these 3 reasons given by the Speaker, when you got to hear them, what went through your mind?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wilson. Good morning, our viewers at home. You know, first of all, I want to call your attention to what you already know, that we are in a political season in the states where the ruling party of the states at the federal level are different. Now, you discover that the Speaker was just being proactive. Proactive. If you listen to the row or the uproar in the House, you will hear that the members suspended were screaming, "Let's vote." So in other words, just those 3 could just be the front runners. Before they were saying let's vote, they must have done their homework. And the Speaker must have also done his homework, not going through the vote, came out, just used a power that may not be constitutional. So, but I haven't said that, number one, it is political.
It is political.
Heavily political. Because right now, there are big guys in Abuja who have interest in Edo State. And they're going to, you know, the power of the State House of Assembly. And number one, the power of the executive as well. So, in other words, though we see more of political drama in this regard. But the first I want to say is that all these political players must know that Edo State needs peace. The Edo agenda is bigger than any individual agenda. So the political class must play with caution. And I also want to, I was telling somebody a few days ago where we discussed about this. All of these politicians cross-carpeting does not determine election any longer. At the eve of Obasanjo's second tenure, we knew how many commissioners resigned. Talked about member of House of Assemblies and all of that. The 14 members, what did that amount at the election, at the poll? So they must learn from that. Overheating the politics will only create problems. So those opera we saw, when I saw it, I was disappointed. I said, these guys have started again. But now, I actually wanted to disagree with the Speaker on the other thought, because of the way our politics goes. You sometimes, you want to wait to do things properly, you become a victim. So in other words, I was of the opinion when I saw the video, I said, okay, why not give them benefit of that? Let them vote and all of that. But in another motive, let's note that there is a hand of Esau, the voice of Jacob. So then the guy became very smart. Not only that he has suspended indefinitely, he had joined the house. So in other words, just like I said, this time around you have political gladiator sponsoring impeachment. you know, even the way the Blessing Agbebako emerged, they were cool to have removed him. They were cool to have stopped his emergence and all of that. So politically, mathematically, he was able to surmount that. And he's getting to this stage, he's there, he understands more now, and he's taking steps to see that he saves his political career and his office.
All right. From what you said at the beginning, you said it's all political.
It's all political.
And I wouldn't want you to forget your other phrase, the speaker was proactive because of political terrain. Now, if you take a look at the clip or the video, you like what you rightly said, let's put it to a vote. Mr. Speaker, you do not have the right. When I heard that, immediately I started calling some legal practitioners to really tell me, does he really have the right or not to do it? And from the calls I received, like Will saying, constitutionally speaking, he doesn't have the right.
Yeah.
Because you must ask the House to vote.
Two-thirds majority.
To the majority for either suspension or anything.
Or impeachment.
And I'm asking a question, now that this has been said, is it going to be like accepted generally, or who can dispute the command to speak right now of Mr. Speaker? He said, anyway, they can just go to court. So I'm coming to you with a particular question arising from the reaction of this person. And of course, the calls are made to various legal practitioners about the implication of all this. And of course, the power of the Speaker to suspend the three members of the House representing constituency in Edo State. The legal person said, look, he doesn't have the right to do it, but it can be contested. Do you see this turning into a legal battle?
Well, the two-third majority needed to suspend, impeach, suspend any member of the State House of Assembly is a fallout from the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And many establishments, many unions, many corporate, many things, many State House of Assembly, anything you can think of that has to do with executive, they actually borrow a leaf from the Nigerian Constitution, that before you can impeach an officer that has been so elected, or so elected as the case may be, you need two-thirds majority of the person's presence to do that. Now, as for this snowballing into a legal battle, it is not it is not news that it will snowball into that, because there's nobody who will just accept. I will call it injustice in this case. Like I used to tell people, this will be the Edo State election, likely be the first staggered election that the Tinubu administration will conduct, if I'm not mistaken. Has there been any other? Since 2023, last year, May, when he became president of this country. This will be the first staggered election. Yeah. Staggered, of course, staggered, different from the normal calendar of 23, 27, as the case may be. This will be the first staggered election that the Tinubu administration will conduct. And all eyes are on him, because there is this speculation that this may want to be a payback to the Edo people for the slogan that was popularized in 2020 when he came to talk. There was a video clip of where he was advising Edo people not to vote a particular candidate, and then the slogan came up, Edo not be Lagos and all that. So there's this speculation that the man will want to show Edo people that Edo is indeed Lagos, he can make Edo Lagos and all that. So this is a litmus test for the Tinubu administration. If you will allow the process to go on smoothly, like his predecessor, Buhari, allowed it to go on smoothly in 2020, as the case may be. Having said all that, there is no gainsaying that this whole thing is actually politically motivated. Now, this speaker has done this, suspended these three persons, as the case may be, over, I will call it trump-up charges, because when you say three persons are plotting to remove you from office, I want to believe that the State House of Assembly, as it stands, are in unison. Because these same people, some few weeks ago or a month or so ago, actually impeached, or rather impeached, served an impeachment notice on the deputy governor of the state, former deputy governor of the state, and the majority of the persons there supported that impeachment move. And I want to believe that they are all with him. So this idea of 3 persons trying to impeach you and all that they will go to court, it is not an issue. Now, like, of course, it was smart enough to adjourn the sitting till a lot of consultation will go on behind. A lot of consultation will go on behind. Now, you'll be surprised that this same vote that he was scared to put this thing into, maybe the next sitting will be on how to ratify this decision that he took. Are you getting what I'm saying? To ratify it. Technically, he has taken a decision that, of course, he did not really enjoy a legitimate process, in the sense that he did not put it to vote to see if 2/3 majority will actually support his decision and all that. Now, you'll be surprised that in the next sitting, it will just be to ratify it, formality. Because why? A lot of consultation would have gone on behind and all that. It will go to court definitely, because those people will have to, those members removed, will have to challenge the decision in court. But my only worry now is, I hope the process is not also frustrated. Okay. I don't want to go into all that. Yeah. You know, legal processes in this country, sorry to say, you can pursue a case. This case can be pursued till the expiration of their tenure. So, okay. And then you will not get any headway. But that they will go to court, I don't think it's debatable. All right, now, because they want to challenge this illegitimacy in court.
All right, now, when he was answering the question, he said that these might not be unconnected, so to speak, to the former deputy governor's impeachment. You know, 3 persons refused to take part in it. And some are saying that these 3 persons that refused to take part in it were the 3 persons targeted. And now they don't take them out of the House. Bishop, is this connected to the impeachment of the former deputy governor, Comrade Philip Shaibu? Because some are saying because these persons are still loyal to him, the House will not be in unison. The House will not be in one accord.
Okay, like I said earlier, it's not unconnected with the present political stand of the state. We're in election season. The strategy is break your opponent's strength. So
break your opponent's strength.
Yes, that's the strategy. And you discover that when they discovered that the then deputy governor or the impeached deputy governor was not cooperating with their internal plan, they've taken off his strength. And you cannot tell me that he has all the power he used to have when he was a deputy governor. So any of his ally that has power may also be targeted, but that is not confirmed. And we're just like, okay, maybe this could be the reasons. But also, we also know that this is what we call politics.
But hold on, sorry for cutting in. I remember one Donald Okube.
Yeah.
He didn't partake in that impeachment proceedings, and is one of them suspended?
Yeah, he's the only one that reads inside. He's the ally to the deputy governor. He's from Donut, and all of that is from his constituency. So, but there's this other guy from Orion. There's another guy from Asa.
Asa, yes.
Yeah, so, but all this, like I said, apart from party politics also, there's what we call personal party politics, and all of that negotiation and counter-negotiation. One of the things I discover, or I am foreseeing, that led to their suspension, maybe they are seeing certain persons they ought not to see, and the speaker, who who also is very on ground doing investigation. You could imagine they could bring reports of somebody seen at about 1 a.m. at the State House of Assembly doing whatever the person was doing at that ungodly hour cannot be adjudged to be in the interest of the State House of Assembly.
But it could just be his own religion.
Yeah, whether it's a religion or there's a principal officer. Like just, okay, I take my office for instance. Yes. I have staffs and all of that. The length member of my staffs can go in terms of spiritual practice. Yes, that place is it's not a church, it's not a mosque, it's not a traditional institution.
Yeah.
So all of that, to be honest, at that very ungodly hour, if, to be honest, in my office, if any of our staff wants to bring maybe their pastors to come and pray, they take permission, and that it have to be granted before. Because they didn't employ you to come and be singing here or whatever, but sometimes we need them.
What if that person is in his own office because they have offices in that particular complex?
Okay, the footage didn't show that it was. I'm talking about the
the
hour. I'm talking about.
Have you seen the footage?
Hold on. I'm talking about the hour by which that exercise was being carried out. But having said all of this, the principal officers of the house must have sat down and put all of these things pari passu and said, this, that. Let's take a proactive measure. They may not be 100% sure of what the intention of the said member could be. They may not be 100% sure of what these three guys are up to, but they are sure that there is an ulterior motive. There is a move. So the language the House can release to the public is impeachment. Do you get that right?
No,
so
suspension.
Now, suspension,
Yeah.
sorry to say.
Yeah.
No, it's impeachment. They were planning impeachment
yes.
on the principal officers.
Just
So because
3%.
that is the language that could suit the public. So like Doc said just now, maybe if we get to see dailies, national dailies today, we'll begin to see both sides, dragging themselves. But having said all of this, now you will now look at the part of the executive. If this suspension stands, you know that the executive is also having a major stake at it.
Now that's the next question. And directly to Dr. Owen, he just raised the question I really wanted to throw at you.
You see,
because he said if it stands, that means maybe the executive
coloration.
Now, do you feel that the executive do have a hand in this?
Like I told you earlier, I really wonder why the State House of Assembly is really, or the principal officers are really worried. Why is it that we don't even like any level of opposition at all in anything we do? In your house, your house of your wife, your children, maybe a family of 6, certainly not all your children will take side with you. This morning I ran into a battle with my son, who didn't want me to touch him because preparing for school. He wanted the mother. He's always opposing me. So I would not say because the boy is opposing me and now I impeach him from my house. No. Honestly, we should learn to tolerate ourselves. That's my own. Because if you look at this State House of Assembly, 24 members for crying out loud. And then we have 3 members who are on the opposition. It's healthy. It's healthy to have opposition.
Yeah, those are some of them are even in the same party, PDP.
Yes, it's healthy. You know, we're not in a zombie republic where everybody do things one way. Like I used to have I have a colleague in my office who used to tell me during the elections in my faculty, we say, it's not good make everybody sleep, use it, face one side. Because if all of us face one side, what about if you not can go that side, can't go this? Sorry for my vernacular now.
Yeah, go ahead.
What about if you not can go that side, you can't go this side? You know, at least if I did this side and you did this side, if you benefit this side, you will benefit us eventually. What I'm trying to say is that we have some level of opposition, and very insignificant if you ask me. If you take the percentage of 3 in 24, it's insignificant. 1/8. 1/8 times 100. That's less than 2%. Sorry, 20% rather. What is 20%? What am I even saying? Very insignificant if you ask me. Do you get what I'm saying?
Just 3%.
Yes, we have such 1/8 times 100. That is, you get the percentage now of opposition in the state. That 1/8 out of every 8 person, you have just 1 person that's on opposition. It's insignificant if you ask me. Anytime there is a vote, of course, the majority of 21 members
always carry the day.
So why are you worried over 3 persons and you want to just push them out so that there will not be opposition at all? It's not healthy not to have opposition, if you ask me. It's not very healthy. So that there's executive coloration in all this. Well, I know I told you I don't like to speculate, but if you sum it up, one of the members who did not support the impeachment move of the assisted deputy governor is part of the persons targeted. And then the other person, they said they saw him in the night performing some rituals. And then you now suspected that that ritual was meant to suspend or rather to impeach principal officers. How do you judge that? Is there provision for spirituality in our constitution? I want to know. Is there provision that, oh, somebody is performing a fetish act or putting sacrifices in 3 junction, and then you can prosecute such person? Or, oh, you would say, oh, you were hypnotized. You go to the police station and say, oh, I was hypnotized. Somebody collected my money. They used jazz on me. I don't think the Constitution recognizes jazz, except there may be a review of the Constitution where we now put those things into it. That's why I said that reason for impeachment is one of the dumbest I have ever heard of since 1999. That somebody was impeached because he was seen in the premises of the State House of Assembly performing some act, some spiritual act. And we are yet to see the footage. And I'm not doubting that they have the footage. They have it, but that is not enough reason for you to now impeach somebody, to suspend somebody. That there is executive coloration is not in doubt. Let me put it there.
It's not in doubt.
Not in doubt.
Over now to you, Bishop.
There may be executive coloration. Maybe.
Well, he said there might just be an executive coloration. Someone said this like, vendetta because you were not there to support my move against former Deputy Governor Haynes. You must be asked. That means you are not in tune with the governments of the day. Even if you're in the same political party, your own move is tantamount to mine. For that reason, you have to leave. You have to, stop carrying out your function in the house because I will not be at peace if you are still there in the house. Take it up from there, Bishop.
Okay, I think apart from the fact that you were not part of the plan impeach former deputy governor, I don't think if that's the case here. What I'm trying to look into is like, okay, we have a plan to win this election, and our plans must be secret to our perceived enemies. And these guys are allied to our perceived enemies. So let's take them out. That could also be there. Then also, secondly, politicians cannot be trusted. These 3 guys we cannot trust them. They may be moved. Because what I was expecting was that I needed a total denial that we're not planning any of such to impeach principal officer. But that was not forthcoming. What was coming was that
you don't have the right and let's vote.
Let's vote. So it means that there was something going on that these guys would have stirred up, and they will get the number of votes and cause an upset. And this is politics and all of that. And this is not the worst we have had in the state. We have had a time of Zagara Garuba where we even saw machetes in the house.
Yeah,
we have had the days of Joto and RTV and all of that, where somebody was pushed out of seats violently and all of that. When those things were playing out, I felt that there was this lapses in the part of the speaker. Do you get that right? I know the one time of Edoro, the way he was removed and all of that. So, but I think this blessing, Agbubaku is up his game. This is not the worst we have seen in the State House Assembly, and this is not the most dirty we have seen in the country. Do you get that right? Yeah. So if he had been able to manage what would have caused more mayhem with all of this, okay, now it's not for negotiation. Like I said, if the executive is not part of it, they will just go back, call the round table, and settle whatever that needed to be settled. They go back to the House. We saw in the Senate, a senator was suspended, and there was this group that are not happy, pressure on the Senate president, and all of that. So it's politics. Nigeria is revolving, we're growing. But what I want to, the area I'm emphasizing is that this political gladiator must know that they have to be, first of all, an Edo state before you sit in that place called House of our Assembly. So don't tear that the house. I remember the days of those Giriaki and all of them, those that had the problem one time. Few people they were having their legislating in the government house during this was Shomole, and others were sitting down at the Ring Road and all of that. So we don't want to see all those ugly scenes again. So my best counsel to this end is that it's politics, it's negotiation, and number two, the leadership of the House must know that democracy, there is 2 powers that you must respect in democracy. Number 1 is the power of the people, power of majority. Number 2 is the power of executive. So if the speaker have the number, he wouldn't fear votes. But if he doesn't have the numbers, he will use alternative means to save his head. We've seen that before. And please don't begin to think that democracy in Nigeria is all about number. We have seen where a number that didn't form a quorum impeached.
Yes.
So he's, like I said earlier, he's being proactive. He may be, his assumption may be right, he may also be wrong, he's human. But first of all, let me save myself. I've just gone through, impeaching the governor was not an easy thing. Remember this blessing, Agbebaku was suspended by Felix Aibo then.
Some time ago.
Now there is this onslaught. There is this, political interest and all of that. It may not be easy for him. Maybe this suspension may not just of Saibu, may not be his own bidding. He has to play to the bidding of people that be. He didn't put himself there. Somebody had sponsored him to be there. So in other words, all of this must have played. And lastly, he knows that anything goes. There is a coming back. So now he's trying to block. He's trying to be it's
like you're putting yourself in his position.
To see like, okay, what's this guy? What's the issue? What's the issue? But when I watched the video yesterday, first of all, I was not happy. I said, this guy wants to start again. But thirdly, I was like, okay, what could be? All right, but don't come on to you in Nigeria.
He positioned himself in a position of the speaker. He said he's been proactive because in politics anything can happen. Really, we've seen where minority impeached the Speaker of the House, and it happened before.
What are you talking about?
Yes.
The last dispensation.
Yeah.
How many persons served in the House of Assembly?
Just 8 persons.
8 persons. What happened to the remaining 16?
They were
not running.
Yes.
And have you forgotten
that
it was like a scene in a movie where some persons were sworn in the middle of the night. One was very short.
Short knicker.
Have you forgotten this? And those persons sat for 4 years.
Yes.
Heaven did not fall.
No.
That's minority.
Yeah.
That's a third of the strength of the house. The strength is 24. No, it's a third. 1/3. That's 8.
Yeah. But right now, the minority that is support of the executive, that might not really hold sway here.
On a serious note, we are in this mess because our politics in Nigeria is too lucrative.
Yeah, too lucrative, yeah.
We are in this mess until we get it right. I'm not saying people don't fight in other countries, though. I think not too long ago, I read on I think I read online also, on news media, where is an assemblyman in the US, all the period he was in the assembly, in the National Assembly or so, in the Congress, they call it Congress there, he slept in his office. He slept in his office. But there's hardly any of our, whether newly elected or ones who have been there before, those who are representatives in Abuja, 360 persons in the House of Representatives, they all have buildings, and if they don't have, they are in the process of having in the federal capital. The senators, 108 of them, they all have, or if they don't have, the new ones who don't have, they are in the process of having. So our politics is so lucrative to the point that people are ready to kill themselves. Yeah. People are ready to die. Yeah. This thing is all about survival. Yeah. Survival instinct. I want to safeguard what is mine. Do you get what I'm saying? So until our politics become something I would call a part-time job, where you just do when you want to sit. Many of these people you're talking about now who have been elected as House of Assembly members, since their election, how many of them have visited their constituency since they've been elected? How many of them? They are just fighting for themselves, many of them.
All right.
How many of them have taken a trip to their own constituency to see, oh, these are the constituents, people who voted me into power. Let me visit them at least to see how they are faring after the election. Not many of them have done that.
All right, thank you.
And here we are busy fighting and all that.
Well, we're getting strong signal from Abuja that they will want to, go on with this program on a different platform, different notice, in the sense that the police issue is still very much on the ground, okay? We would have gone on and take a look at how it's going to affect this constituency they are representing, because it's term indefinite suspension. What now happens to the constituency they are representing? Anyway, these were...
Indefinitely can be less than 1 week.
Okay, fine.
Don't forget that.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for a wonderful opinion. We'll keep watching because they are just sitting. Let's see what the next step will be, because matters are really arising.